We're at Samsung today. We've come to check out the latest Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5. This should be fun. Let's see what it's about. The Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4 is one of the best foldable devices on the market right now. Now we have the latest Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5 or Z Fold 5, depending on where you are in the world. And the headline here is that it's lighter, it's thinner, and the display is also brighter, bringing it up to date with the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. So this should be a fantastic device. Although it doesn't have big leaps in terms of upgrades, in terms of what you get on the device, it's still subtle enough to warrant some sort of upgrade if you're looking to get one of these. I would say though, if you're coming from the Z Fold 4, you should probably skip this one. Let's listen to the specs and what it's all about, and then you can decide for yourself. Starting with the design, it's very familiar here. It's something that we're used to already. We have a front cover, we have the main display inside, and the aluminium frame. In fact, it's Armor aluminium frame. It's also IPX4 rated, so this is durable, and you have Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2, making it somewhat durable. For the main display, we have a 7.6-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X adaptive display, meaning you can go from 1 Hz all the way to 120 Hz refresh. This is really good for when scrolling in generally, so when it comes to reading, when it comes to browsing the web, it's just nice and fluid. And of course, you can change this in settings by going from 60 Hz display and going all the way to adaptive, but it's probably best to leave it in adaptive, because this way it remains power efficient. So it's not going to drain your battery when you don't need that 120 Hz refresh. 120 Hz refresh looks good as well when it comes to gaming, especially playing Call of Duty. It just works really well. It looks nice and fluid, and you can also game all day long and just enjoy that fluidity. The display is QXGA Plus Infinity Flex display at 2176 by 1812 pixels, and it supports S Pen as well. What's also cool here is the case that comes with it now has S Pen built in, so you can sort of put the S Pen embedded in the display whilst still retaining that slim profile and not adding too much bulk to it. I spoke a little bit about the Armor aluminium frame, but also the hinge is also Armor aluminium. So this is very rigid and also means it's very rugged and just a bit more durable. And it also means you can have this in stiff position, so you can have it in sort of like laptop mode, tent pole mode, whatever you want to have it in. You can easily just move the top display and just fold it to the extent where you want it folded. The gap is also non-existent when it's folded, which looks really good. And yes, we still have the crease on the display, but it's not noticeable once you start using it. When it comes to the cover display, we have a 6.2-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X display. In terms of pixels, you have 2136 by 904 pixels. And this will go from 48 Hz and all the way up to 120 Hz refresh. Again, keeping in line with that power efficiency, which means when it needs 48 Hz, you'll be using as low as that. And when it needs to go all the way to 120 Hz, it will go all the way to that level. For example, I was able to play Call of Duty on the front display in landscape mode, and it looks really good. It's nice and fluid, nice and smooth, no hiccups at all. Of course, you have continuity, which means you can easily just open it back up. So if you want to use that bigger display, you can also use that and just continue gaming from where you left off without having to restart the game. Pretty neat. That display looks fantastic, especially when watching movies and stuff like that. The display just looks really sharp. The colors look vibrant and accurate as well. The blacks looks really good thanks to that AMOLED 2X display. And it just looks really good. When it comes to gaming as well, the colors are great. It's nice and fluid. It just works really well. Onto the camera. The camera again doesn't scream massive upgrades. There's not a lot going on here that we're not already used to. So we have a triple camera setup. So we have a 12 megapixel f2.2 ultra wide angle camera. We have a main 50 megapixel with dual pixel autofocus. It has optical image stabilization and it's f1.8 aperture. So you'll let a lot of light in. You have a 10 megapixel telephoto lens, which has PDAF, and it will give you 3 times optical zoom with optical image stabilization and f2.2 aperture. You then have on the front a 4 megapixel f1.8 on the display camera, which almost disappears when it comes to gaming and stuff like that. So you can almost game camera free on the main display, which is pretty neat. In fact, they could have done away with it completely, because the main camera can be used as your front-facing camera as well, selfie camera, because when you start putting into dual view mode and selfie mode and stuff like that, or preview mode, you'll be able to preview what you're actually taking photos of on the front cover display, which means actually we don't need that selfie camera anymore. You can just get rid of it, to be honest, but it is there. I guess you might need it for when you need to do things like Zoom calls and stuff like that on the go, but I'd rather just take it off. For selfie camera, you have 10 megapixel at f2.2 aperture, which works really well as well. It looks really nice in terms of the photos that we've tried on it so far. In terms of performance, it's rocking the latest Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 mobile platform from Galaxy again, which means that this just has better processing power, more processing power, just a little bit, just tweaked a little bit so it's more powerful than the standard one. The graphics power or performance is slightly better as well. So that's a big bonus when you opt for this over the competitor. Couple that up with a faster RAM as well. You have 12 gigabytes of RAM, which is also LPDDR5X. You have the option for 256 gigabytes of internal storage, 512, and there's also an option for 1 terabyte storage, which is only available if you purchase it online. What does that mean for you though? The performance is excellent in terms of being able to multitask. You can run multiple applications at the same time. You have the side panel where you can draw applications. You can load those 3 applications and also add some floating applications on top as well if you really need to do so. But the main thing here is you'll be able to run multiple applications at the same time with no issues at all. I also like the multitasking in terms of the floating panels, the control panels at the bottom, or application panels, so you can see some applications that's already preloaded, and you can also see your last 4 applications as well. So if you really want to just quickly get back into what you were doing before, you can easily just drag them from the bottom right to the center. Almost reminds me of Mac OS in terms of having the apps at the bottom and then dragging them and all that kind of stuff. Looks pretty cool. For battery, we have 4,400 milliamp hour battery. It supports 25 watt wide charging, so 50% in 30 minutes. And you also have 15 watt wireless charging capability and 4.5 watt reverse wireless charging. As for pricing, the 256 gigabytes will cost you £1,749. The 512 will cost you £1,849, and the 1 terabyte, which is only available online, will cost you £2,049. It's available in Icy Blue, Cream, and Phantom Black, and there's also 2 online exclusives. So you have the Blue and the Platinum. Again, I think the Platinum is going to have a different color here in the UK. They have different offers on as well for when you pre-order, so do consider pre-ordering if you're looking to buy one. Overall, there's no magic leap in terms of the upgrade available here or any additions to the actual hardware and software, in fact, for that matter. If you're coming from, say, the Z Fold 4, this is probably not worth something to upgrade to just yet. But if you're coming from an older device, this is definitely something to consider. It's very premium, it's refined, it just feels really solid in hand, and it's just such a beautiful device. Even with that narrow display, it still looks pretty good. Although I kind of like the form factor of the new Pixel Fold, this still looks really good as well. If you want something narrower, it's still usable. You can game on it, you can watch videos, you can actually use it on its own as well. It's slightly taller, so it's still pretty much usable. And if you're using the Z Fold 4, you almost know what the experience is going to be like already. One thing that's pretty cool is just the all camera interface, being able to use a cover display here and there, the multitasking feature, and also being able to fold it halfway through and using the bottom area as a trackpad for watching videos and scrubbing, for example. You can also skip like 5 times or something into the video. So there's a lot of subtle software updates there as well. And I'm looking forward to actually reviewing this and comparing it to the Pixel Fold device as well. That's it for the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any questions, drop them there as well. Make sure you subscribe for the full review when it comes out. Thanks for watching.